Hello there, welcome once again to Blackpool for more great pool action coming your way from the Imperial Hotel. Yes, it's the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Tournament. All the world's best players are here, and we're now down to the last 8 in the men's event. Let's take a check then on the 4 matches coming up. First of all, the defending world champion Gareth Potts taking on young Adam Davis. The experienced Phil Harrison will take on Darren Matthew in our second quarter-final. Looking further ahead, former world champion Mick Hill will face Tom Ford, and Moray Dolan against Mark Farnsworth. Another qualifier will complete the 4 quarter-finals. Well, I'm delighted to say that with me here in the studio is Keith Brewer, who knows all about the game at this level. Keith, 4 intriguing and contrasting quarter-finals to look forward to.
Yes, some good lineups there. The first one in particular, I think, obviously Gareth versus Adam, there was a fantastic semi-final that these two competed in last year, so I think we're all looking forward to that one. But there's some new players there as well, which is always has a good touch to the tournament.
Let's just take a little bit of a more detailed look at this opening match, because obviously Gareth has been in great form. He's a terrific player, and you must fancy him maybe to win this again.
Well, he has to start favourite for the whole event. Gareth's been in fine form for a few years now, but in particular he seems to bring his best to the World Championships. It's something that he really looks forward to. And
as far as Adam Davis is concerned, you know all about him, because Adam Davis is the man that put you out, sadly, this time round.
Yeah, I was actually nearly in this match here.
Instead of sitting there, you could have been playing, yeah.
Yeah, Adam's been playing very well. He won the European title in February this year, so he's showing good form. So we all remember the great semi-final that he had last year as well.
So briefly, how do you see this opening quarter-final going?
Well, I think the basics will be is if Adam can bring his A game to the table here, then we're in for a great match and maybe a shock. But we know with Gareth Potts what we're going to get, and that's high-class pool. So you've got to say that Gareth does start the favourite in this match.
Thanks very much indeed, Keith, for that. Looking forward to it. And just before we go any further, let's remind you at home once again, there have been a lot of changes behind the scenes in this year's event. Here's Jim White. So there we are, Gareth Potts certainly sounding very confident, and you have to say it looks as if he is the man very much in form. He really fancies this, doesn't he?
He seems to bring a new level of play to this tournament. Gareth has been very consistent in all tournaments that he plays in, but when we come to the World Championships, he believes it's his event, and the record of winning 3 titles here speaks for itself.
It's going to be tough for young Adam, isn't it? Despite the fact that he just edged you out, he's going to have to go up another gear.
He will have to bring his A game to the table to have any chance to win this match.
OK, Keith, thanks very much indeed. Well, Lee Kendall, Sean Baker and Jim White are going to do the commentary. The players are just out ready. Let's now go to the action.
The best of 17 commences now. Needs a good break.
30 seconds.
I've got 2 ranked professionals with microphones in their hands. Lee Kendall furthest away and Sean Baker first. Sean, do you concur with Keith Brewer? Do you think that Adam really has to bring his A game to the table here, or is there going to be pressure on Potts?
No, without a doubt, Adam's going to have to fetch his A game to this match. Gareth has just steadily this year improved more and more. I think after winning the world title last year, he's obviously done a lot of exhibitions. He's opened a club with Lee. That's obviously taken up a lot of his time, and he just seemed to struggle at the back end of 2008 in tournaments. But he's slowly come better and better this year, capturing the International Tour 3 title just a few weeks ago. So he is certainly at the top of his game now, and as you say, I think Adam's got to be at the top of his.
Now, Lee, let me ask you, how much of a factor will last year's loss be playing on Adam Davis's mind?
Well, he knows he's in for a very tough match today, so he knows he's got to bring his A game, like you said, but he's just recently won the European Championship, so he's one of the top professionals. I think he's ranked number 3 in the world, so it's a hard match to call it, even said that.
And not a very good shot there from Potts.
No, you see, he just flicked that yellow on the way past. Now he's blocked the path of the red into the bottom left as we look on the overhead. We see there, it's blocked out. Had a little chat with Adam Lee before the game, and he admits after that loss in the semi-final last year, his game went downhill. You know, he stopped practicing as much, he changed his job, and he really sort of like got down in the doldrums, his game did. But winning that European Championship, I think, has given him now the hunger, and he's come back to this Championships in great form.
You just know he's had to wait a year to get back to Gareth in this event. It's been a long 12 months.
But Gareth also knows how good a player Adam is. You know, they practice together, they're from the same town,
Yellow ball's
so
in play.
they both know each other's armoury, and they both know they're capable of winning this tournament, so it might be a little bit of a nervous affair to start off with.
Our first look at Adam now. Good containing shot, that one from Potts, though. He secured that bottom corner.
I'm not quite sure about that, Jim, actually, because I think that yellow might go along the bottom rail. We see there on the overhead. I think that yellow will go past there, just squeeze through
30
past the red off
seconds.
the cushion.
So important, though, for Adam. You know the early nerves are going to be playing a major role, as they always do, to settle into this, put some heat on the defending champion. That'll be the order of the day as far as Adam Davis is concerned.
It's not the easiest of racks to start off with. The yellows are quite bunched together. He's going to try and squeeze the yellow past the red over the pocket, but the cue ball's going to be travelling up the table, so very important shot and a very tricky shot coming up.
Now, Lee, obviously being from Stoke
30
yourself,
seconds.
you're going to know both of these players very well. If it turns into a tactical fray, who do you give the advantage to?
I think they're pretty even. They both know the game inside and out. They're both known for their attacking play. That's gone a little bit awry, trying to squeeze that past in into the pocket, where he's just left an open table for Gareth. But should it be a tactical match, you know, either player is capable of winning it.
He certainly doesn't look too negative, does he? And I think that's the secret to being a champion in any cue sport, is living in the present. Got to have a short memory, don't you?
You certainly do. Gareth's just looking whether he can get behind the red, or weighing up whether he has to go
30
into the two
seconds.
balls and separate them. I think he's probably just going to try and cannon into the balls and hope for a nice little kiss on them. Well, he thinks it goes, but it looks very tight to me.
I think you're right. Your first go, Lee. I think he just tried to flick that red and just bump it and get it into the open and drop on the one that he's still on into the center pocket.
And what's happening in this frame, Jim, sorry, is he's slowly going to run out of balls to try and split that. And Adam's in the defending position here because all his yellows are blocking. And he's just surveying the table there, trying to work out a way to take the finish out. But it's going to be very difficult from here. Red into the centre.
30 seconds.
But the one nearest the cue ball's a problem ball.
He's had a very tough go of it, too, in defense of his title. Had to beat Ben Davies in the last 32. And then Ben Flack as well, two very accomplished players.
Yeah, I mean, that last 32 game, it looks fairly comfortable 8-5, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because Ben Davis, a very, very tough competitor, fairly new to the game, this 8-ball game that we play, but
30
certainly
seconds.
one of the great exponents from Wales, along with one or two other youngsters. Tom Cousins is another one, and Ryan John is another one. They've got a very good young Welsh side coming through.
That was a great effort, just falling short, but so close to nudging that red into the open. A sure sign that Gareth is feeling his oats.
And the problem now, Jim, he's looking at something here. I'm just wondering if he thinks it'll come off that yellow into the middle pocket. It's just above the yellow and the red, just above the middle
30
pocket at the bottom
seconds.
of the screen, as you see.
You just heard the 30-second shout.
Yeah, but there'll be no position, I don't think, if he does take this shot on. Well, he's a little look up at the clock. He's already heard the 30-second call. And we only have 1 minute in this game to play the shot. And he elected not to take that on. He's tried to find a safety.
Even though it looks like Gareth might have the edge with the fewer balls on the table, sometimes it isn't exactly as it appears. But that was a good defensive go from Gareth, just trying to maintain the initiative. A long ways from the finish line, both players in this one.
30
Looks
seconds.
like just containment here from Adam. Ooh, that might be a mistake. He did not want the double kiss.
No, you see the look on his face there. He knows that that's been a big error there. Now Gareth's just looking now where he drops this, drops a red into the right-hand middle pocket, trying to get up past the two yellows that are fairly close together.
Very anxious start, though, I think it has to be said, from Adam. And it remains to be seen whether he's going to get another chance in this opening frame. Well, he is. Tried to force that into a very acute angle. And now Adam Davis has to pounce. Big chance to plant some negative seeds in the mind of the three-time world champion Gareth Potts here.
"30 seconds.
He played a nice little shot there, just try and get above that. Yellow and the cushion he's got between the gap. And now he's just got a choice of which way he goes about this finish now.
I was talking to Adam yesterday, just leading up to this match, and coming from the smaller tables in the earlier rounds and now to the TV section where they moved to an 8-foot table. Well, he's been down to the local snooker club hitting balls. Went to the 12-foot table to try and work on his game. Not a bad idea.
No, it certainly helps him, particularly if you're not a regular snooker player. I know one or two of the top 8-ball players do play a lot of snooker, and certainly they don't struggle when they come to this table. And obviously we had the likes of former champion Mark Selby has played the game, and obviously he's a seasoned pro now with us on the snooker circuit, so he's used to playing on that bigger table. But as you say, if you're not used to playing on this surface, it does make that game a little bit more difficult.
Just slightly hampered cueing here over that red. Just got to settle himself down. Deliver that cue straight through the white. No danger. But this was a vital visit. He really had to punish Potts. For the opening frame, he needs this 8. He's off the mark. Adam Davis takes the opener, leads Gareth Potts 1-0. It's a race to 9, best of 17. Frame number 5. 2-2, the score, finally poised from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, and that is unlucky.
Yeah, he's lost the cue ball there. He's heading a little bit towards that right-hand middle pocket, I think, and then got kicked in.
Open table, time running.
Adam Davis straight back to his chair. Watch that white. You just can't legislate for that.
Yeah, that's very unlucky. He didn't give it the best of strikes, but he still got kissed in.
Well, the pool gods have just slapped Adam Davis in the face. Now it's down to Gareth Potts.
Well, I think he's got one big pot here, Jim. Pots this ball, the frame's simple, but it's a massive pot. Knows if he misses it, he loses the frame as well.
Yes, with the cue ball going in off the break, it's not 2 visits, is it, Lee?
One big long pot, stun the cue ball dead. And it's a frame winner or a frame loser.
Table.
With a capital P.
It's a massive shot. He had to take it on. He had no choice.
Yeah, you just see there, he returned to his seat. There's a little look to his right. I think his family and supporters are there. And he's just saying to him, how have I missed that? It was a big opportunity.
It was a tough shot that was shown. It was a lot of pressure on it. He knew if he missed it, he's going to lose a frame.
Yellow ball's in play.
And really now he's just Adam to mop up the easy balls. It's cue ball. I mean, Gaz is shaking his head a little bit. He knows he's let Adam off. But still early days, long way to go.
I think more importantly, he realizes that he missed the opportunity to send a message too.
That's correct. Absolutely spot on. Reverse the pressure. Needs a good positional shot here though. Needs to get past the 8 and the red ball.
Nicely played. Now once again, it looks like Mr. Momentum is going to be changing chairs.
And he puffed his cheeks out there. He didn't really want to come as far with the cue ball. He knew he could have gone behind the red quite easily. So he was pleased to see that the cue ball didn't sneak past it. Well, both balls began into the same pocket. A little bit short, but an 8 ball that we fully expect him to make. There's his mannerism again. Up and down a couple of times.
Didn't take long to dish off after the miss from Gareth Potts. Adam Davis finds himself just 1 frame in front. 3-2 in the best of 17 quarterfinal. Much happier, to be sure. Following that break, I think he thought the frame was over.
And that was a frame winning or losing ball.
Yeah, as you say, like, big shot. So it missed, and we see the simple stuff. And that was him knocking the 8 ball in and returning to his seat, much happier than he was just a few minutes before after the break shot.
A lot of players would have said, why didn't he go for the easy ones at the bottom? But he knew if he makes that ball, he wins a frame, and 9 times out of 10 he would have potted that ball.
And having a lot of self-belief, you know he's willing to take the chance. If it's one ball, and one that he has to have to win the frame,
yeah, he might not get a better opportunity. So
6th frame.
He's not shy to take it.
Trying 3 frames.
Just waiting for the cue ball. Frame number 6. Settling in to what he hopes is a successful break. Gareth Potts, the defending champion. 3-2 adrift. Yellow down, red down. And he's starting to get the measure of the break.
The ball's in play.
With potting 1 of each, he then has the option of which to go for, and whichever he chooses, he is on that colour. I think he's nominated yellows already.
Yeah, all the yellows are in the open, but there's a little cluster in the middle of the table he just needs to navigate around.
But again, that's what we alluded to earlier in this match, that the cue ball control, you can just keep that cue ball nice and steady in the middle of the table.
Yeah, he's just let on run, Sean. Sorry, he meant to go for the middle pocket, but I think he's been lucky he can get the one over the other middle pocket, the left-hand middle as we look.
He seemed to hit that fairly firm then, Lee. So
probably a little bit of adrenaline. Yeah, he's not quite settled. He's lost his way. I mean, his first shot, he's overrun it, and that one is unexplainable, really. And another point we need to mention, the 2 very good friends as well, so normally he wouldn't feel as much pressure as he would. He's playing one of his best mates on the circuit, so it is difficult as well to get that out of your mind.
Well, that's right. I mean, they were actually just, you know, sat chatting before, right, immediately before going out for this game. They were sat chatting, you know, and just basically having a little bit of a laugh and a joke. So, as you say, very good friends off the table.
Rivals on it. So often in many sports, individual sports, off the table, dinners will be booked together, but on the table it's business.
Yeah, there's no friends on the table, but it's odd not to be friends because you feel for your player. And
well, it certainly brings another element into the match, no doubt about that. But again, this is what separates the good players from the great ones.
And no doubt both players don't want to lose to each other as well, which is another factor. As much as they don't want to beat them, they just don't want to lose a match, which can add another pressure to the match. It's always nice to have the bragging rights over when you're having a meal and a night out, even if it is just friendly banter.
Yeah, because I'm sure Adam Davis would like to see that World 8-Ball Federation trophy on his mantelpiece.
And that one wiped his feet, Sean. He's just made hard work for himself. I still think he's okay. He doesn't look too upset about it, but it's not ideal position. He's just having a quick check of his angle on his next shot.
No, I'm playing this into what we call a blind pocket, where his line of sight will be looking away from the intended target pocket, the bottom left in this case. So that cue ball is going to be running away from the other red. He's going to have to drop on that one on the right-hand side.
He may elect to have a run through. Yeah, he's looking to run through the gap.
Oh, that was risky. That was risky, and he can count himself very lucky, and he knows it.
Very lucky. I don't even think it was the right shot. I think he could have just either dropped in the area or screwed into the 8 ball.
I'm out.
And I don't know what shot he was playing.
No, he's finished on that red. We see here the shot once again.
Because he missed it. He actually missed the red, and it wiped his feet and still went in. But he's just had that little bit of fortune where he's got a shot. It's not an easy one, but it's a shot which he probably didn't deserve after the poor positional shot. Chance his arm again. Not so lucky this time, though.
No.
Went to the well once too often.
Very difficult there for somebody if you're not used to playing with the rest. He seemed to play that shot rather quickly as well, Lee. I don't know whether the time was getting close on the minute or...
Well, I think he's played to cannon the 8 ball full on, knowing that he would be on the red ball. But we don't play a lot of shots on the 7-foot tables with the rest, so... I mean, he is looking as though he can still pot this red. There might be just enough gap between the white ball and the red ball where he can nip it into the bottom left-hand corner. So if he makes a red, you'd expect him to have position, because he'll be screwing it off 1, maybe 2 cushions. Oh,
and it's helped it in on the way. It's incredible.
Well, it's a question whether it was going in anyway.
Yeah, that is the question. And he's got a chance at the 8 here into the right center.
But you just feel the last couple of shots he's had a little bit of fortune, but that can make you a little bit edgy on this black. Whereas if you've got in the conventional way, you'd expect him to pot it.
Great shot. Well, there was a bit of luck involved. A slippery slope to be sure to the finish line, but in the end, Adam Davis laughs last. And once again, 2 clear. 4-2, he leads Gareth Potts.
As we see that break off again from Gareth. Successful, and that was the shot you talked about, Lee, there, and that was when it nearly went astray there for Adam. Just wiped his feet, that ball.
Just change his matches, just need that little bit of luck.
Yeah. And here we go, and we see there that ball was actually going in. So we didn't have quite the same amount of luck we thought he'd had with the kiss on the cue ball.
Frame number 8.
4 frames to 3.
It's a 4-3 lead to Adam Davis, but it's Gareth Potts at the table. It's a race to 9, best of 17. And I think Potts feels like he's won the lottery to only be 1 frame adrift.
Cue ball went flying, nearly left the table. Certainly left the bed of the table.
Ball potted.
A lot of power in this that break shot. You see there.
He's laughing because the cue ball flew up in the air and bounced off 2 rails. And he's made a ball. He knows he's had a little bit of fortune. Look at the cue ball fly. Off 2 rails. Very
Red ball's
fortunate.
in play.
And he's probably going to break and finish now, so just how that would sit in the Adam Davis camp, I'm not sure.
I think there was somebody in the crowd there thought they were going to be catching that somewhere like mid-wicket or something like that on a cricket field.
Hopefully not in the mouth, he was thinking. So he's back to business. The laughing's got to stop and concentrate on the job in hand.
Again, a little look at the clock there from Gareth.
He must have made a red on the break.
I don't think that's worked out well. He's just covered the red over the top corner pocket and nudging that other red.
I think how the match is going here, chaps, it's a case of whether Adam's going to throw this match away, because I don't think Gareth's turned up to this match so far. So if Adam can find his A game, which we said he needed to find to win the match, You know, he could win this match quite convincingly.
And for me, Lee, that's a matter of forgetting the chances he's already had.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Gareth there's trying to take control of that bottom left corner pocket, but he's not made it. Red just stopped short of covering the pocket, allowing Davis back to the table with an opportunity.
Yeah, I think Adams showed more nerves than Gaz. I don't think it's a case of Gaz has shown any nerves. I just don't think he's settled and not got flowing in the match.
If you remember 2 or 3 years ago, Lee, Adam actually made his TV debut against Gareth in his hometown of Stoke-on-Trent in the International Masters, and Adam showed a lot of nerves in the early part of that match, but he hung on and eventually knocked out his great friend Gareth Potts and went on to lift the title.
He was looking for a fuller contact on that yellow, hopefully to secure that pocket. And he hasn't, I don't believe he's blocked the path to that red nearest the bottom left corner. So still a chance for Gareth to try and maintain control.
I think he'll be having to go at the
30
finish here, Jim.
seconds.
No, you obviously know more tactics than myself. He's just putting the clamps down.
He perhaps feels he just needs to take stock after that. The start of the frame was a little bit jovial, and like I say, he just needs to regain that focus, and probably he's just buying himself a little bit of time now, and just to
take a bit of control.
Right, yeah, I'm just going to take stock of this frame. And as he fouled, he has.
I don't think that's the end of the world, because he's forced Gareth a little bit to do something. Yes, he's got 2 visits. Yes, he's got a ball over the pocket, but it's where he lands once he pots this one, which is covering the pocket.
That cue ball tracking up the table, knocking in the red. He's actually a little bit fortunate, because if the cue ball had gone forward a little bit more, could have finished in the jaws and left what's called a foul jaw snooker, where Gareth wouldn't have been able to play out and make the finest cut possible on any of his object balls, but it didn't. So Gareth has now got yet another opportunity in this match.
Well, Adam's looking on. He's hoping that the red doesn't go into the centre. Knows he's slowly letting the match slip. If you can get the red into the centre, the finish becomes easy. And it does go.
30 seconds.
Could choose a cannon into it as well.
The problem there is he's going to have to maybe take the long red on now.
I don't think
top right, and
I don't think he has any choice, Sean.
No, the problem with it is hampered by that yellow.
Well, he's got to get this. He knows he's got to finish close to straight on the last red to afford a chance at the 8.
He's very close to it as well, so it's a little jabby shot.
Well, it just brushed the knuckle on the way in, but in it went.
Still got his 2 visits, so you can choose to just drop it in and send the black up to the top, or
yeah,
just
Lee,
waste
you're absolutely right. I forgot he had the 2nd visit, so all he really needs to do is knock this red in and develop the 8.
He did just have a little look at nudging that black out.
He may not need the 2nd visit. And once again, they're going in 2s. 4-4 here in Blackpool.
Hello again, welcome back to Blackpool. An intriguing first men's quarter-final here, and for Gareth Potts, the defending world champion, really the script is not quite going according to plan, Keith.
Well, the story of this match really has been about balls missed more than balls potted, hasn't it? And there's quite a bit of respect between the 2 players. They're from the same town and they're good friends. So all that plays a part in the game, of course.
But we were saying how confident Gareth looked and he was in such great form and so on. Not quite the case.
No, well, there's a lot of pressure out there for both players. You know, it's a big match. I think they realise that, and there's 2 great players in good form. So it's all part of the makeup of the game.
We shall see what happens. Let's now return to the action.
Frame number 10. Gareth Potts with the break, and once again looking at a deficit. This is familiar ground for him. He's 5-4 down to Adam Davis, but he just seems to find a reply every time. It's just a matter of sustaining that form.
Well, he certainly put some power into that, but again, not the kindest of splits. Just one or two, couple of reds that seem just a little bit tied up.
Well, sorry, Sean, I think it's just a question on the left-hand side where where the red and the yellow is. If that red passes into the corner, then it's an easy finish.
Red ball's in play.
The other red drops into the middle. If you can go straight on that one, just a 2 at the bottom of the table there.
Yeah, and straight away he's played a nice little shot because he's just developed that little cluster. It was at the top right-hand corner pocket. I think he's moved that one far enough down the table so it'll go in the right-hand middle now. As you say, it's just about
if that goes,
position.
If that goes, it makes a massive difference to the frame. Not having to play a cannon or getting behind it.
30 seconds.
Yes, a couple question marks. Far from a clear-cut finish here.
He's overcut that one.
Yellow ball's in play.
To be honest, Lee, he's missed that by so far, really. I thought he was playing it. It was almost like he's gone to play that.
Well, I'm not sure if he has played it, and the red and the yellow at the bottom of the table are too tied, and he just wanted to take control because he has got that yellow locked up, so he could quite easily have played that as a containing shot, knowing that he's got Adam under a little bit of pressure in this frame.
Sean, are you
Time running.
with me talking about the World Masters? Understood.
Thirty seconds.
May just pass this yellow. If nothing else, he's grabbed control of that pocket, or does the red go by the yellow?
I think it goes by, but he's glad that he hasn't separated the 2 of the table, which are locked as well.
You see, Gareth's got down very quickly here because he knew that went past there.
It flew in.
The key to the frames are 2 at the bottom of the table, the red and the yellow, which are very close. If that goes in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a great chance here for Gareth Potts to tie the match up. I'm not sure what he's played there. Whether he tried to get down to that area on that shot. Is there another look, see if it passes?
At least he's got the insurance policy in knowing that Adam Davis has a couple awkward yellows on the left-hand side. So
50
should an
seconds.
unforced error again creep its way in to Gareth's game, be a very tough finish for Adam.
Well, Gareth hopefully thinks it does go because he's playing that shot now. He's played it well. Nice little cannon off the yellows. Which says last time he didn't mean to cover the bag, he was going for game. So he's fortunate to get another go here.
This is tight here. Got to get this exactly right. Just don't want to be catching that black just on the way through. A little bit further away there.
I think it's a case the ball's going to be after the ball. Does want to be bridging over the 8. Decided to move it one out of the way. He is going to have to bridge to a certain degree, but it could have been a lot worse.
Much more confident strike, that one from Gareth Potts.
And a little shake of the cue, saying yes. Pleased to see it go in.
I don't think he wants to let Adam Davis go too clear again. On 2 separate occasions, Davis has been 2 in front at 2-0 and 4-2. And if Gareth gets this 8, the first 10 frames will have been split. And it's in the bank now. 5 apiece here in Blackpool. Heating up to a photo finish. Gareth Potts and Adam Davis.
11th frame. Adam Davis to break. 5 frames all.
Frame number 11. And Adam Davis just settling that white into a position that he hopes he will enjoy some success, because he's had precious little off the break. And finally they smile.
All potted.
Yeah, a lot more power in the break there from Davis. Made a red and a yellow.
Yeah, and he was a little bit fortunate as well there, Sean, because the cue ball was heading for right and centre. If you look, it was on its way, then he just got stopped by the yellow ball, so a little bit fortunate with that one.
Yeah, that's the thing, Lee. He's not been hitting the ball hard, and all of a sudden he's gone back to that, and he's just forgotten that little bit of, I don't know, of the break technique where he's dug into it. And as you say, so often we do see that cue ball fly into the middle pocket.
30 seconds.
Red ball's in play.
Each player has won 3 of the 5 frames that they hold on their scoreboard by virtue of the break. So still have to feel that it's a weapon.
Yeah, and it's a question here, Jim, if once he plays the red into the bottom right hand corner, if the red goes into the left hand centre, all of a sudden becomes a good finish, a good opportunity of a finish.
Problem there, I don't know whether he's come back far enough. He's been running into the yellow here that's close to that red.
Yeah, I think he can just top through it.
Problem is, he's got to be careful where that yellow goes. Quite easily find its way in front of that other red.
Oh, played at a good speed. But what a big shot here. If he's straight, he's going to have to draw that cue ball back off the near cushion as we look, the bottom one, to drop onto the other red. This will be some shot.
I'm not sure he's got a full pocket to go out as well. Playing it with a bit of reverse side. Makes the red missable. Got the side on, what a great shot. Needs to run. Lots of bottom left on that.
And we see there Adam's girlfriend Gemma in the crowd. She's looking on. Hopefully her man is going to be the victor today and take a step closer to that world crown.
He went on record as saying that had he beaten Potts in the semi-finals last year, he felt the title would have been his.
Yeah, without a doubt, because I think Jason Twist suffered a little bit in that final against Gareth Potts. He'd had an extremely tough semi-final against Gareth Hibbert, and I think that took a lot out of him.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, and that was a big shot there. Poor miss by Adam.
Yeah, it showed. He missed it by a long ways, Lee. I think he knew that might well be frame ball. Had all the pressure that carried.
He just needed a little bit more off his previous positional shot. If he could have got the cue ball a bit further over, the shot would have been a lot easier. But it's down to Gareth Potts to turn the screw, looking where to hide the cue ball.
30 seconds.
Looking to secure 2 visits.
Tall snooker.
Well, it's looking like 6-5, or some sort of miracle shot here from Adam Davis, or a major mistake from Potts. Looking to come off a side rail, showing the direction he wants a cue ball to head in. Be hoping to clip the red in.
What a superb shot there from
It in as he
Adam
always does.
Davis.
What was it you said, Lee? Miracle shot?
Yeah, a little bang on the table from Adam there. Knows he deserved it a little bit more because he played a fantastic shot. 2 cushions, clipped it in, and he's left himself right on top of this yellow ball with probably a 2 and 10 8 ball where he thinks he probably deserves a more of a shot at this 8.
But at least he's got a shot at the 8.
Well, is it top or is it the right hand centre?
30
Jacked up
seconds.
over the yellow.
Oh, what a finish. What a shot and what a finish from Adam Davis. Mark that one down on your scorecards. 6-5, he leads.
Gareth Potts to break. Trailing 6 frames to 5.
I think it's fair to say that Gareth has been a little more successful with the break. Well, he needs a good one now. 6-5 he trails. And a good split would be the tonic for an ailing Gareth Potts.
Well potted.
Well, it's a good strong break there from Gareth. Made a ball. Just having a quick look at the table. It's probably the reds. He's having a look, see if it passes into the centre. Very tight.
He's got a plant too. He's got this red that looks like it'll go, but the plant on the other side, the reds, is without a doubt makeable.
Red ball's in play.
They're set right into that centre pocket.
That's probably the safer option as well. But he's looking at the plant on the other side.
30 seconds.
Red off the red, flicking in off the yellow. But that's dangerous. You could quite easily leave it sat up where he could take the plant like you've suggested, Jim, on the other side and guarantee the plant.
Well, I think he's tried to play it off the yellow.
I don't know what he's played there. I think
in
he
play.
was...
I think he thought he could take it just off the cushion onto the yellow and it'd drop in.
I think it's just been the story of how Gareth played this match. He's made more mistakes than he probably would and probably has in the whole of the tournament in this match.
Well, without doubt, the 2-year reign is in jeopardy.
But he hasn't left Adam an easy finish, but I'm sure he's happy to come to the table either way.
Well, yeah, another miss from Davis.
And how much movement was there on that one? Body language doesn't look good. Knows he's let Gareth off. Too good a player to let off.
This will be one of those matches that I think you go straight to the practice table if you survive and
that's
prepare for the semi-final.
And that's all it's about, surviving. Getting through this round, thinking, well, neither of us have played particularly great, but, you know, one step closer to winning the tournament.
30 seconds.
When I used to play, probably the most fulfilling moments for me was when I knew I was struggling and I could find form when I knew I was struggling and I turned it around. And I wonder if players also feel that way, Lee, in this sport. I'd have to think it's got to be the same.
Yeah, you're satisfied that you've managed to dig in. They always say you're only as good as your worst game. Well, if your B game is good enough to beat other players, then you know you show you are a real top player. So get back to the practice board, and tomorrow hopefully your A game comes out.
But when you know you're really fighting it, to be able to block it out and then find your form, I used to get more satisfaction in that than when I just went out and flew.
Yeah, totally understand what you're saying.
Because this is where characters are exposed.
Yeah, I think Gareth's just finished a little bit shorter on that shot than he wanted to. He wanted to be a little bit straighter or even a little bit of an angle. So he could top through and take the one into the bottom right-hand corner pocket as we look on the overhead, but left himself a much tougher shot now here, Lee.
Yeah, he just had to play the cannon and leave himself a shot. He knows he's practiced long and hard for these sort of occasions and thinks he's the man for the job to pop this long, tough red into the top right.
I think that was something we talked a lot about, Jim. I remember in that semi-final last year and in the final, with long potting of Gareth Potts was the difference.
He's not there, and he knows that he was up off the cue right away. I think he feels that when a shot has to be made,
he hasn't quite got it yet.
No, he's trying to force himself into believing, and it's just not there, Lee.
But what he is doing when he is missing, he's still leaving Adam with little bits to do. That red could have gone anywhere, but no, it blocks the pocket. Blocks the top left-hand pocket, so now that yellow has to go into another pocket. So it's been a strange old match for two of the best players in the world. They both walk away from this
30
match
seconds.
scratching their head saying, what's gone on there? Why did we play so bad? But I think the main factor is they're both friends. They both know if they win this match, they fancy themselves to win the tournament. And he just had that little bit of pressure on him.
Super shot there from Adam Davis. He's just developed that yellow up into the middle pocket.
Yeah.
22 years of age, Davis. 4 years the junior to Gareth Potts. You have to feel that all this is experience being gained. He just wants it to be a positive
30
one.
seconds.
While he's decided to play the safety shot there, well, we saw what happened when Gareth played the safety shot in the last frame. The finish was on.
To be fair to Adam there, though, Lee, and Gareth hasn't got a ball that's virtually over a pocket here that he can get at. So,
Well, he's not far from the pocket, Sean. If he does come out the snooker and make it, he's certainly on the other red. I am surprised that he didn't attack there.
30 seconds.
I think he's just hoping that Gareth doesn't make the ball and gives him 2 and makes it easy for him, but if he comes behind it off 2 as well, he's in trouble. Comes behind it, he does. He asked for that, really. It's called a foul.
he's not asked for a total snooker, I think. I think he was in a total, and he's not asked for it. So if you've not asked for it, then the referee's not confirmed it. It's 2 visits, because a legal shot hasn't been played. Well, that is unbelievable.
Is that just a mental lapse?
I think it's...
Yeah, could you just explain that a little more, Sean?
Yeah, in a total snooker situation, if you ask for a total snooker, all it means you have to do is contact your own ball. You don't have to make a ball hit a cushion. But if the referee hasn't confirmed a total snooker to you, you haven't asked for one, you have to play it as if it wasn't a total snooker. Therefore, hit your own ball and make a ball hit a cushion or pocket a ball. And that's what he didn't do. He didn't ask for the total snooker.
The other option is, he may not have been total snooker. He might be able to have seen the edge of the other ball. And he's played to pot the ball and he's just come wide.
Possibly so, Lee. Maybe it wasn't a total, and that's...
Either way, guys, no argument whatsoever from the Potts camp. So what a gilt-edged opportunity here for Adam Davis.
And it is strange to see, because Gareth's been playing for the whole of the tournament and he's hardly missed a ball, he's hardly missed a finish, his averages have been fantastic. And the mistakes he's made in this match is, without a shadow of a doubt, more than he's made in every other match throughout the tournament.
Well, he's going to put the knife in. And again, something to make a mental note of. It could prove pivotal. Quickly, 7-5 to Adam Davis. 13th frame welcomes Adam Davis to the table with a 7-5 lead and the break. What a great opportunity now to try and extend it and get himself to the hill. A quarterfinal clash with the defending champion and a chance to avenge last year's loss.
Ball potted.
And again, the power break from Davis. Sees a ball disappear into the pocket to give him first chance. As you say, in this 13th frame, once again, he enjoys a 2-frame cushion, as he's done twice in this game already.
Well, he's potted a red off the break.
Red ball's in play.
He's elected to stay on the reds. And he's just checking, see if the red goes past the 8
30
ball
seconds.
and the yellow ball. Well, it does, but from there, anything can happen.
Good
Yellow ball's in
effort,
play.
but out of his chair like a rabbit was Gareth Potts.
But not an easy visit for him.
Some remarkable turnarounds in this match. First, obviously, was the escape from Adam Davis, where Potts played the safety, and just an unbelievable shot in pocketing the red and
30
finishing
seconds.
with possibly an even better shot on the black. And then where Gareth Potts failed to call in the referee to declare a full ball snooker, costing him 2 visits and the foul. And he's got to put all that out of his mind. Easier said than done.
Certainly is.
You see there, Gareth's grandparents, Arthur and Beatty, always come along here to Blackpool to support him. And they'll be looking on, hoping that he can progress to the semi-final stage.
Well, then taking this yellow into the bottom right-hand corner, hoping to develop the other one, comes straight through the gap. About sums up how it's gone so far for Gareth. Maybe forced to play a double at a later stage, but things are just not easy. Not an easy day in the office here for Gareth Potts. And he doesn't really want to be chasing a finish either at this stage. He wants Adam to go and make the mistake, really.
World snooker star Mark Selby in attendance. Won this event back in 2006.
Good developing shot there. Still got the one on the left hand side with the red over the pocket blocking it, so he'd be forced into probably playing a double into the bottom right hand corner. So it's going to more than likely be
30 seconds.
The yellow into the centre. Can't see what other shot he's got. Could. He's trying to clip this one in.
Tried to drop in behind the other one and he isn't quite there.
Well, he's got the option to try and flick it in off the red into the centre. Or we can take it long into the top left.
All or nothing right here. Yeah, the big shots have escaped Gareth in this match. When he's needed something to try and stem the tide, it has not come.
Well, this is a dot-to-dot finish, really. It's just about composure, really, for Adam Davis. So red above the 8 ball. Drop that in for the 2 at the top. It's just about the ball. The second ball on the right-hand side, nearest the middle pocket. If he gets himself 2 straight, well, even if he's 2 straight, he can take the one over the bottom right. So it's really just, well, that's a clever shot, but a brave shot.
Yeah, he opted to try and develop that, and he has done.
I don't think he wanted to have a nervous little drop into the centre.
When the camera gets right behind Adam, you can see that his neck just quivers slightly. Just that little shake to remind us that he's feeling it.
Yeah, I think he has looked the more nervous of the 2 players, but I don't think Gareth's turned up with his A game, B game, or probably his C game. He's not really been at the races.
30 seconds.
It's just a question of Adam getting over the line and finishing the job off, really.
Yeah, I just think Adam Davis might have looked at the draw and seen that were he to progress through this quarter-final against Gareth, it would be against the winner of the Phil Harrison-Darren Matthew game, and he would probably feel that he'd have a definite edge over either of those 2 players. So he sees this at maybe the game that gets him into the final. I know he's still got to get through that semi-final if he does progress, but
I think this is the final for him. I think he believes if he wins this match, he'll win the tournament. Now, there's a lot of great players still left in this tournament, but I know his mindset. If you knock out the current world champion, 3 times world champion, you should be thinking that way.
Well, after 2 shots, he's going to be 1 frame away from that semi-final berth.
And we always say it's not the easiest of ways to get possession with the ball hanging over the pocket, but he's got so many options of which way to play. It looks like he's playing cushion first, running off 2. Off 3. Perfect shot.
A much better look from Adam Davis here. Good speed, good rhythm, and he secures the frame and gets to the hill. 8-5, he leads the defending champion. one more away from a semi-final place.
Trailing 8 frames to 5. Time running.
Facing an 8-5 deficit, 4 to play. Gareth needs them all. Frame number 14. And a champion's heart going to be called upon here.
Open table.
That's if he gets another visit, because these yellow balls look to be in a favourable position. I think he's looked over to his family there and said, I think that might be my last shot.
Yeah, he's got one we see on the overhead shot there, bottom of the screen. There's one yellow on the side rail, but obviously it just goes down the rail. You see there, that concerned Potts followers and family. Just wonder, has Gareth Potts played his last shot in these championships, Lee?
Well, for the Adam Davies fans, they couldn't ask for much more. Hand on the table, a relatively easy finish, if there is one, to knock out a world champion. Gareth looks pretty resigned. I think that's pretty much how he's turned up to the match, really. He's just not been the normal.
I've seen a lot of that even after he's departed the table. When he's needed a big shot, it just hasn't been there for him.
30 seconds.
Well, we were talking off air of, you know, just how many shots have eluded Gareth Potts. Normally when he's called upon, he responds. Just makes you savor the wins all that more.
Well, the only thing I would say that could keep him in the match is a red just above the 8 ball. The red between the two yellows as we look now. That's his only hope. If that would block the path for the cue ball, but that's hanging on to a thread, really.
$30 seconds.
Just settling himself is Adam Davis. I think he knows the finish line is well and truly in sight.
He just needs to be high on this one. He's just having a quick look around the table now. When he takes the yellow into the bottom right hand corner, if he comes high, he can just drop the cue ball in between the gap. This is a shot to book his place in the semi-final.
Looks just about perfectly, I think, that you see on the overhead there.
He's tentative for one of those, Sean. He's got to drop through that gap, and he'll be very edgy. I think you'll see him take his time over this shot, pointing where he wants a cue ball. Most important shot of his life to date.
And you just have to guard against just overcutting this a little and bringing that red into play. He's overhit it.
And that was because he just wanted to make sure he didn't go behind it. But that was his slight saviour if you were a Gareth Potts fan, knowing that that red was there. He's still looking in trouble. You expect him to make the ball, but you're just going to have a trickier shot to get onto the 8 ball.
Anxious times for Adam Davis. Got to keep his nerve in check.
Well,
50 seconds.
Is he looking at the double? Or is he cutting it in the middle? The double?
He's missed it.
It's a crazy shot for me.
Desperation.
Red
A
ball's in
desperate
play.
time, really, and a shot that deserved a little bit more thought.
I think he's possibly trying to, if he was going to try and cut it back in to the corner pocket, he was sending the cue ball up and down the table early and, you know, potentially losing control of it.
But at least you get a shot at the black. By playing the double, you're just opening the table up and saying, well, if I get it, I win, but you're giving yourself a shot.
And what kind of message does that send to Gareth?
30 seconds.
Well, it could be the one that says, I'm still in the tournament, and the pressure's reversed.
Total snooker.
Well, referee Phil Turner has declared the total snooker. And Gareth looking to try and extract the mistake. And he has.
Foul. 2 visits.
And I think that means we're going to see at least one more frame in this quarterfinal.
knows he's let one get away. That's his first opportunity. You said early on in the match you would settle for a hill-hill match, deciding frame. He doesn't want one at the moment.
Just holding for position on the red to the same pocket.
Still has his 2 visits, so there's no real dangers here.
If Gareth could hold and just eke out a win here, survive this scare, that would make him a very dangerous player.
You would think he was invincible, because really he should have lost this match by now, and he's still batting away. Yes, he's got plenty of work to be done in the match, but he's still in the tournament.
I mean, Adam's still got 2 breaks to come after this frame.
Didn't need the second visit. Gareth Potts stays alive. 8-6. He needs the last 3.
th frame. Adam Davis to break. Needing 8 frames to 6. Time running.
A chance to secure victory again. Adam Davis at the table. He's 8-6 in front. If he could buy a good break here, he'd empty his pockets.
Looks like he's made a red and a yellow.
Well, be pleased to be in control of the table. Won't be as pleased that there's a big bunch in the middle of it.
Yellow ball's in play.
Nominated the yellows. Yellow's gone down from the break, so that's a suit that he'll be playing. Nice cluster of balls there. And again, he haven't got any pocket, so he's going to have to make a disturbance. Trusting to a little bit of lady luck.
30 seconds.
Has he got enough angle? Just about, I think.
Yeah, it almost looks like he could possibly even bring both awkward yellows into play here if he gets this.
As Lee said, he's going to trust to a little bit of luck at finishing on a ball.
Well, that's perfect. I think he may just be a little bit too low, and the red's come to block the other pocket.
Yeah, the yellow he's looking at now, the one that's tied up against that red, is the dodgy one. I don't think it passes into the corner he's standing near.
Well, it makes it a missable finish now. I thought he had a nice angle on it, but
30 seconds.
not the sort of finish he wants to go for, knowing that he's just let him off the hook.
And the problem here he's got, though, is if he doesn't take this finish out, all the reds are now spread in the open.
Well, he's got the option, Sean, of playing the yellow to just flick off the other yellow, the one that's tied up below the red. But yeah, he's decided to go up middle pocket. I mean, ideally, he'd like he's going to take the yellow into the bottom left-hand corner. The one which is below the red, the middle of the 3 yellows, he'd ideally like that to pass into the bottom left, and as we look on the screen. It must pass.
Well, the way he's played that shot, Lee, obviously he thinks it does. He must have had a look.
But I think the problem is, whether he thinks he's got to pinch it, how's he going to get on his next yellow? He's going to have to drop it in the middle, and then he's got to force it to get up for the 8 ball. I'm not so sure he's going to get these unless he's... could go behind the red.
Well, that was the yellow I thought was going to be tough. I think he's given himself a great opportunity yet again.
Has he got the angle here, Jim? One big pot for a place into the semi-final, and he has.
Sure, it looks like he can just hit this and follow through.
Match ball.
Well, Sean, you mentioned that he still had 2 breaks to come. He may not have needed the second.
No, Looks like that was a deciding factor in this game, but he's finished short.
He is short, but you'd expect him to make it. It's a nervous one, but a man of this calibre.
You've got all the added pressure. You've got the fact that the cue ball's going to be going to the other side of the table. He's got to be wary of the in-off, maybe contact the red that's near to the left-hand middle pocket, you know, flick into the pocket, anything.
Might have to play with a bit of side, which makes a pot missable.
Listen for the sound.
30 seconds.
The fans will let you know. It is there. Adam Davis has taken out the defending champion Gareth Potts. A new champ will be crowned in Blackpool, 9-6. Adam Davis is through to the semi-finals, where he'll look to go one better from last year.
So what a performance then from young Adam Davis. A real shock here at Blackpool in our first quarter-final. The defending world champion is out. Keith Brewer's watching the action with me here in the studio. And Keith, you were saying right from the start you felt that Gareth never quite looked on his game.
Never looked settled in this match, did he, today? And it's a massive win for Adam, to be fair. And they know each other very well, and I'm sure that Gareth will wish Adam well. But I've never seen Gareth look so unfocused.
He didn't lead at all, did he? He was training all the time. He was playing catch-up.
All the time. There was some crucial misses in the early frames from Gareth, misses that we don't generally see from him. He just never looked settled in this match today.
OK, fine. Well, let's now think that Adam Davis has got a great chance, hasn't he? Because, I mean, playing like that, if he carries on that sort of form, who knows?
I think, you know, it isn't a big shock to people like me to see Adam has won this match, because we know how good the guy is. Like I said before, he'd won the European Championships back in February, so he's showing good form. He will know he's got a realistic chance at winning this.
Absolutely. Keith, thanks for that. Let's just remind you then of what's happened so far. And as I said, Adam Davis, a terrific performance putting out Gareth Potts. Still to come, Phil Harrison against Darren Matthew. Later on, it'll be the former world champion Mick Hill up against Tom Ford. And Maury Dolan faces qualifier Mark Farnsworth. That's all still to come. Meantime, join us next time for the second quarter-final. In the meantime, from all of us here, it's bye for now.